you don't just listen. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Brian is starting off this hour in Oklahoma City. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Almost as good as I deserve, but you're helping me get in there. How are you?
Just the same. How can I help?
All right. So my dad's about to retire, and he wants to buy his last car. I'm like, well, that's not morbid or anything, but
how old is he?
A brand new car, and he wants to get a loan for this thing.
How old is he?
He's 65.
Is he in ill health?
No, he's fine. He's great.
The average 65-year-old lives to be 90.
I know. So maybe the car will last longer than what he thinks, but who knows?
Or maybe he's not going to last as long as he thinks.
What's that?
He's not going to last long if he thinks he's going to outlive this car. So does he? Why didn't he have the money to pay cash for a car?
Well, I'm sure that he did, and I was all torn up when he asked me to have. They wanted my address to be on the loan. I'm like, oh well, I listen to Dave Ramsey. I'm never going to co-sign. He's like, no, you don't need a co-sign. I'm like, well, why don't you pay cash?
Well, don't put me on the loan at all. I don't want my name anywhere near this stupidity.
I know, right? So I asked him, Dad, do you know who Dave Ramsey is? And he says, no. I'm like, well, you've got to find this guy. He's like, he can turn your, savings into wealth and all this stuff. He's like, well, Brian, it's like this. And he rattles off all of his investments, and the guy's a millionaire. I never knew. So my question for you, Dave, is do I leave the guy alone? He's a millionaire. He can buy whatever car he wants, right?
Well, the answer to the philosophical question is, should he buy a car for cash? Yes, he should buy a new car, and he should pay cash for it if he's a millionaire. Right. And if he's not willing to write the check and pay cash for it, he shouldn't buy it. Now, the second part of the question is, are you going to convince him of anything? And the answer is no. You're not going to convince him of anything. He's not listening to anybody, including you.
So he tells me he can make more money with the money that he would have paid cash for the car in his investments.
Well, that's a bunch of crap.
It is, right?
Yeah, it is right. That's a bunch of
crap.
I'll
just have to leave him alone, right?
And so, you're not going to talk this guy out of anything. He's got it all figured out. And so, I got a friend that pulled up in front of my house in a leased car the other day. Brought his new car over that he leased. He's not a millionaire. He doesn't need a new car, and he leased a car, and he brought it to Dave Ramsey's house to brag. Now, this is a friend of mine that's this stupid. Okay, and so what do? Obviously, the guy knows what I think, but he's over there anyway to brag on his car, and so there's no discussing this with this idiot. He had already done this, and so the only thing I get to do is I just said, "Hey, man, that's a great car. Congratulations." Because, what am I going to do? He pulls up my driveway and go, "You're an idiot. Take the car back." He didn't ask my opinion. He brought the car over to tell me he bought a car or he leased a car, which is stupid. So anyway, that's the deal here. This guy is not asking your opinion or mine, and he's not going to take an opinion of someone else. The only thing I want to make sure of is that your name and address doesn't get anywhere on any of these loan documents for any reason.
Oh, okay.
Ever. I don't want anything on there because I don't want them getting confused and accidentally calling you a cosigner.
All right.
Because this is a loose cannon looking for a place to happen. And just say, and by the way, Dad, if you want my opinion, I don't think you do, but if you want my opinion, I think a guy as rich as you and as smart as you ought to just pay cash for a car just to prove he can. But you do whatever you want to do, Dad. I'll be happy for you. It's all good.
I love it. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for calling in. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ben is in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Hi, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve. How about yourself?
Just the same, sir. How can I help?
Well, I've got a question. Me and my girlfriend, over the weekend, on our 2-year anniversary, I proposed to her, and she said yes.
Yay!
And she informed me that she has signed up for a 11-month mission trip.
Boo!
Yeah.
That kind of messes up an engagement.
Well, I agree, but she's supposed to be leaving in October of next year.
And you did not know this about a woman you were getting ready to ask to marry you?
She had talked about it, and I told her I'd support her with it, just for her to let me know when she was going to do it, and she sprung it on me this weekend. So I was like, okay.
Does getting married not cause that to be rethought?
It has, but in the same aspect, I'm not going to stand in front of what she is called to do. For 2 years, she's been telling me that she's been called to do it, and now she's in a position to where she can do it.
Okay.
So my question for you is this: I have quite a bit in liquidable income and some in savings and investments of $2.74 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
My question is: should I write the check to fund her mission trip, or should I let her do the fundraising like everyone else?
Are you getting married before she goes on the mission trip?
We haven't sat down to decide yet.
Okay. Well, would I pay for my wife's mission trip? Yes. Would I pay for my girlfriend's? No.
Okay.
But I probably would be engaged in a whole different process here anyway, so I don't know. I'm just sitting here. What's running through my... How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay. What's running through my head is, and I'm not trying to pick apart your plan, I'm just trying to get my head around it emotionally, is if my son, who's 24, came in and told me this same story and asked what I thought, and maybe his fiance sat down with me too to be counseled on this, or someone, one of his friends came in and sat down and wanted to be counseled on this, I would just say this is I don't want you to stand in the way of what's called to her either, but I think getting married supersedes a mission trip. And it might be that the two of you decide to go on a mission trip later. You've obviously done extremely well financially. Congratulations. Or you inherited a bunch of money. Where'd you get this money?
It was actually no inheritance at all.
How'd you get $2.7 million by the time you're 28?
Well, I was in the military, and I was an electrical engineer. And
have I talked to you before?
Yes, sir.
I remember this story. Okay. I remember it now.
Yes,
and you're making like $400 a year. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You killed it. Cool. And you got too much of it in gold, if I remember. Okay.
Yes, I have 1.65 in gold.
See, there's a good memory. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see here. I don't know, dude. You're in an unusual situation. Listen, I believe marriage is also a part of our spiritual walk. And part of our ministry is to each other. And so I really want you guys to get on the same page on this. And being gone a year right after you're married or right before you get married away from each other is unusual unless you're in the military. So maybe you do some of this together, or maybe it's a little different take on how to do her calling. Maybe that changed this weekend. And I want to get all that cleared up. And I'm not writing a check for people I'm not married to. It just gets weird.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show, right here weekdays, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
We've got 5618 left. It was about 17 when we started a year ago.
And you got just that much extra laying around?
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are San Bernardino strong.
In AgNet West today, watch for certified California-grown floats in a major upcoming parade. The story after this.
We are farmers. We are all-day long doers. Agriculture isn't just our industry, it's our way of life. We invest in equipment that's long-lasting, economical, and environmentally conscious because that's what it takes to do the job right. We're all about greater horsepower and cleaner emissions, new implements, more attachments, better technology, and dependable engineering. For all your ag equipment needs, we are Kubota.
When it comes to a healthy bottom line for your farming operation, nothing helps like healthy soil. Producers who use soil health management systems report lower input costs while maintaining or even improving their yields. Plus, those systems help with drought protection and soil and water conservation. Contact your local Natural Resources Conservation Service office today to find out more and unlock the secrets in your soil. This message brought to you by the NRCS and this radio station.
Miracle Grow, the official rose and flower care company, has committed to using California-grown flowers for more than 85% of its float floral decor for the Tournament of Roses parade. This marks the tournament's first major brand sponsor with a float to become certified California-grown. The California-grown certification for the parade is a volunteer program that recognizes parade floats and entries built with more than 85% of cut flowers and greens from the Golden State. Miracle Grow joins Cal Poly University's FTD and the California Milk Advisory Board in demonstrating support for local California-grown flowers. The Rose Parade originated in 1889 as a way to showcase the bounty of what is grown in California during a time of year when much of the country is covered in snow. The California flower industry has a $12.2 billion annual impact on our state's economy. I'm Sabrina Hill for AgNetWest.com.
If you're a business owner, retiree, or you are about to retire, then you can't afford to miss an episode of Safe Money Talk with Rick Lee Wag. Safe Money Talk is the show that bypasses the hype and hysteria and gives you the straight talk about threats to your life savings and how to build your fortress against threats such as higher taxes, inflation, and healthcare costs. Every Tuesday night from 6 to 7, author and financial expert Rick Lee Wag will discuss the issues that have the potential to impact your retirement and business income. Starting at 6 p.m. only on KCAA.
You know that the news cycle is big time, and the leading story is Miss Universe gets dissed. Steve calls out the wrong Miss Universe or whatever. Poor guy. Man, he completely screwed up, and then he's just getting hammered. He's getting destroyed. I haven't seen the clip yet. I've heard it's brutal, though. Bless his heart. Oh, hey, man, having done 20-something hours, that 20-something thousand hours of radio, I'm really glad that all the stupid and dumb things I've said on the radio have not made the front page. Oh, I'm so thankful. And Steve's he's a good guy. Oh, what a mistake, though. He's getting crucified. Of course, the other leading story is that Star Wars sets an international world record since the beginning of time for a movie in one weekend. Was it 238 million or something for the weekend? I contributed to that. Sharon and I went to the IMAX 3D version, which, I mean, I saw the first one when I was 16, so shut up. I mean, and you ought to go back and watch that. That'll make you realize how far things have come. Yeah, it was a big deal then, but pretty lame now. Yeah, so, and I noticed all those actors got old. I don't know how they did that. I don't know what happened. I mean, Luke and Leia and Harrison Ford, they're looking, I don't know how they got old and I didn't. I don't know what happened, but they did. The old guys in the movies are the ones the ones I relate to. Okay, anyway, it was good. It's really good, by the way. For those, high recommendation if you like Sharon and I are empty nesters, so we just spring on a movie occasionally. We just pop out there and watch a movie. We stay caught up on. We watched more movies in the last year than we probably have in our whole married life because there's nobody bothering us. It's wonderful. All right, Mary is with us. Mary's in Tucson, Arizona. Merry Christmas to you, Mary. How are you?
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. I'm good.
Good.
I have a question. My very intelligent honor student niece, who is a senior this year in high school, I want to introduce her to your principals. I talked to her about you. But over Thanksgiving, the other part of the family who is investing in real estate came over and said that you're quack and it's better to use somebody else's money to invest in real estate because you write up all the repairs and costs and everything and deduct it. And so, you save all that interest anyway because you're writing it off and interest is low. And so you should always have mortgages on all these rentals and investment properties. And so I'm hoping that you can explain to my niece so I can play it for her later why that's not good advice.
Okay. Well, I think the way you can tell whether advice is working or not is try to find someone that has followed that exact advice over a long period of time and see how they've done. Okay? For instance, if you were to hire a personal trainer, you would not want the personal trainer to walk in and be 400 pounds because the advice that they've been following is not what you'd want. That's not the result you'd want if you were trying to be in good physical condition, right?
Right.
And so the point is, if you want to be skinny, you need to talk to skinny people. And the person that is telling your niece all of that is a broke person. Am I right?
Well, they act like they have money, so I don't know how to tell.
Wait a minute. Say again. Stop. Who has money?
They act like they have money.
They act like they have money, but they don't have any money.
But how do you convince a high school student that they really don't have money if they're not going to...
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Try to find... if you're a high school student and you're listening to me right now, or you're Mary's niece and you're listening to me right now, try to find a real estate investor that has borrowed deeply and heavily using the theory that this individual was telling you, and find them 10 and 20 years later and see if they're still alive financially. They're not. I grew up in the real estate business. I've seen those guys come and go thousands of times. I was one of those guys. I made a lot of money in the real estate business. And I acted like I had a lot more money than I had. And I used to run around and spout those exact same theories. And I went broke and lost everything I owned 5 years into the program. And it's almost impossible to find someone who's been following that line of thinking for 10 years that's not gone broke. And the reason is that they borrow so heavily and they have no cash position. Now, where you will find people that have made a lot of money in real estate is people that pay cash for it and keep it. And they just hold it. And maybe they buy and sell a little bit, but they're not constantly seeing how much they can borrow. They like to own things. Now, that's someone who does it over 10, 20, 30 years. So if you want to go broke a couple of times before you get really rich, you can do it the way that this person is telling your niece. Because I know. I mean, there was a book out, Mary, when I was running around in my early 20s when I was getting rich doing that and then lost everything. The book was called Nothing Down. A guy named Robert Allen. He had another book called Creating Wealth, and it was spouting that exact same set of lines. And, of course, Robert Allen went bankrupt about the same time I did, using his own advice. And that's not to pick on Robert. It's just to pick on his advice and the advice that I followed in those days. So I was just as dumb. I'm not picking on Robert or not picking on your blowhard family member that walked into this conversation where you were trying to give her wisdom. But the wise people, Mary, when I interview millionaires here on the air, and I do quite frequently interview millionaires, we do a millionaire theme hour. If you listen to them, none of them tell you that, for the last 20 years I've been buying real estate, borrowing all I can borrow. Instead, what they tell you is I own some real estate, but I paid cash for it as I went along. And the way I've become a millionaire is I save my money and I live on less than I make. And I consistently invested in my 401k and good growth stock mutual funds. And I bought a piece of rental property here or there, but I paid cash for them or I paid them off very, very quickly. And I didn't stay in debt. That's what real millionaires do, not people who are running their mouth. I mean, big hat, no cattle is not who you want to follow. So, I mean, I don't know how to convince a high school student of anything other than to have enough of a relationship with them to where they believe your advice. But the data, the statistical data that's out there, if you do just a little bit of research on what makes a millionaire, where do millionaires come from, they don't come from the set of philosophies that your other family member was espousing, because they don't work over the long haul. Sure, you can acquire a bunch of real estate that way, but you can't keep it, because you don't stay liquid enough position with enough equity to where every time there's a downturn, it takes you completely out, and you're broke, and you don't want to live that way. Gabe is with us in Phoenix. Hi, Gabe. How are you?
Doing great, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, about 10 years ago, my wife and her sisters were named beneficiaries to their late grandmother's trust, and her mother is the actual trustee, and it's been, again, about 10 years now, and it's not been liquidated or completed, and she ignores any of our requests for information on it, and just kind of curious what your advice would be on how to handle a situation like that.
How much money is in the trust?
About $1 million overall.
Are you willing to lose the relationship?
I'd rather not. We'd rather not.
I said, are you willing to, not what you'd rather do?
No.
Okay, so you're willing to give her the money and let her mishandle it rather than deal with this?
Well, it's sitting in real estate mostly.
I ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you willing to just let her mishandle it in order to not stir up the water?
I'm not. My wife might differ.
Okay, it's your wife's money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your wife's mother that's dysfunctional and a toxic control freak.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is your wife willing to deal with that? Because if she's not, you and I are just barking around to chasing a car here.
Sure.
Okay? Because here's what should happen. What should happen is your wife and her siblings ought to sit down with their toxic control freak mother and say, Mom, this is done. You're going to liquidate this. You have 60 days or we're going to take you to court. And the judge is going to make you liquidate this. So please, Mom, do the right thing. We've waited 10 years. That's more than enough. You need to take care of business and you need to take care of it now. And if you do not, then we are going to take legal action. That's what should happen here. This is what would happen were it in my family. Because this is not a relationship that's based on toxic craziness that I'm going to stand back and cover my ears and go la, 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 and act like everything's okay. It's not okay. This woman's out of control.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Here's the latest. I'm Doug Parrish. Police in Las Vegas are identifying a woman accused of mowing down people on the Strip with her car. Police say video shows 24-year-old Kcaa Holloway intentionally driving onto the sidewalk.
She is believed to be from the Oregon area. We're not 100% ruling out the possibility of terrorism.
That's Las Vegas Metro Sheriff Joe Lombardo. One person was killed, several more were critically injured. The Taliban is claiming responsibility for a suicide attack that killed 6 American troops in Afghanistan. A U.S. defense official says the troops were attacked near Bagram Air Base. It was carried out by a suicide bomber on a motorcycle. Republican Lindsey Graham is dropping out of the presidential race. South Carolina senator made the announcement in a video on his website. Graham saying he'll continue to work to turn back a rising tide of isolationism in the Republican Party. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. Islamic leaders in the U.S. are launching a new initiative to improve relations with Americans. Today, the Council on American Islamic Relations noted that anti-Muslim rhetoric has increased since the recent terror attacks. They want to bridge cultural differences, and Imam Johari Abdul Malik says Muslim leaders in the U.S. need to do a better job.
We have to do a better job of reaching out to our young people from the pulpits of the mosques in America and teaching them how they can avoid the seductive approaches that are found on the internet from groups like ISIS and others.
Well, it could be a long time before Steve Harvey lives down a huge mistake while hosting the Miss Universe pageant in Las Vegas. Harvey says he didn't mean to accidentally name the wrong person the winner. Harvey named Miss Colombia Miss Universe, but she was actually the first runner-up. Miss Philippines is the new Miss Universe. Harvey continues to apologize for his on-air mistake. I'm Doug Parrish.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Successful Brim. Be sure to check out Redlands Market Night, Thursday from 6 till 9 p.m. Established in 1988, Redlands Market Night has established itself as one of the most successful certified farmers markets in Southern California. Vendors vie to participate in the event that has attracted thousands of weekly visitors since its inception. Visit certified farmers, 20 different food vendors, and over 100 handcrafters, merchants, and business promoters. Visitors are welcomed into an inviting atmosphere, complete with lighted trees, brick sidewalks, historic buildings, and a great musical entertainment at First East State Street in Redlands. Crowds are pleasantly surrounded by over 150 food and merchandise booths, not to mention the downtown shopkeepers every Thursday night.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
While you're there, learn about the healing benefits of live circus sustenance with their 100% raw and vegan eats and treats. You can also participate as a vendor by contacting Heather Smith at Redlands Market Night at cityofredlands.org. Again, Redlands Market Night at cityofredlands.org. And that's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Music Changing Lives, KCAA, and Daniels Jewelers are working together to make Christmas brighter for thousands of children in the Inland Empire. Random Act of Kindness is a toy drive orchestrated by Music Changing Lives, and KCAA is a collection station. We will be collecting gifts until December 22nd, Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. If you bring by a gift for a child worth $15 or more, you'll get a $50 off coupon card from Daniels Jewelers. Drop off your $15 donation at KCAA, located at 254 Carousel Mall in San Bernardino. For more information, call Di Rice, that's me, at 909-885-8502. Again, 909-885-8502. Music Changing Lives, Daniels Jewelers, and KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. Thank you.
In the lobby of the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, a year I've been doing it and hadn't screwed it up. There I screwed up. Oh, well. Ernie and Jennifer are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi.
Good, Dave. How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Same to you.
Where do you guys live? Where do you live?
Houma, Louisiana.
Ah, which is near what?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay. Very cool. And you're all the way in Nashville to do your debt-free scream.
we wanted to share with the world our story.
Okay, cool. And how much have you paid off?
$155,000.
All right, very good. And how long did that take you?
8 months.
Very good. Making what kind of money?
This year, about 95 to 100.
What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a oil and gas measurement technician. Work offshore.
Okay.
And I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Fun. Very
and
cool.
I started a little side business. I do graphic work, graphic design.
Okay. So how did you pay off 155 in 8 months? You must have sold something.
Well, this journey actually started about 4 years ago, but this year, yes, we did sell our mobile home. That was worth, we sold that for $144. And then we had, I had student loans still from like 10 years ago. And a little bit of medical debt, and then that was it.
Okay, so tell me the journey that started 4 years ago. What is it? What was it?
Well, in the fall of in 2011, the beginning of that year, things were just really, really tight all the time in our finances. And I've always been really, really frugal, but I felt like we still never had money at the end of the month. It was always the opposite. And I talked to him about it, and he was always wondering, why did I make a good, decent income, but we never have any money?
Right.
And it got to where our testimony is this. It got to where I was either about to decide whether to pay the house note late and take the late fee, or pay the house note and take the overdraft fee from the bank, and trying to figure out which one was cheaper. And it's funny now, but it wasn't then.
I hear you.
And I said, I was always stressed out because I was the one handling the finances, and he wasn't really involved. And he decided to ask. He was like, so let me see our bills. I want to see a list of them.
There you go.
I said, okay.
And
I had nothing.
Game on now. Yeah.
I had nothing to hide. I wasn't doing anything secretly. So I was like, okay, here's our bills. And he looked at it. He said, I heard this guy on the radio. I don't remember his name, but people call in and he helps them get out of debt. And come to find out it was you. We had a friend who loaned the Total Money Makeover to us, and I read it very quickly. I was really excited, very motivated, and I thought, this was Ernie's idea, but Ernie's not going to like this plan.
Be careful what you get started on, Ernie.
I like guns and cars.
So I kind of trapped him. We took a car ride somewhere that around that time, and I said, this is the time to talk about it. He can't walk away. We're stuck in the car. And so I started reading some excerpts from the book, and he was like, well, let's do it.
Oh!
Yep.
And so we started to do it, and we were really pumped up. We were excited. We actually hosted an FPU class that year.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
And that's where we learned a lot of things. And
so did you sell any guns or cars? Ernie, did you sell any guns or cars?
I'm sorry?
Did you sell any guns or cars?
Actually, I did sell one of my guns. It was an AR-15. Well, I regret it. I was actually going to buy more car parts, but actually my car broke, so I had to actually fix it with the money I sold the gun for.
Oh, okay.
Actually, right away, he sold his motorbike.
Yep, I sold a motorcycle.
And I had a brand new car at the time that we sold. We gave back to the dealership.
Yeah, it was
very cool.
And then what happened was we were really on fire. We were really motivated. And then like after about a year or so, we got down, and I guess we weren't as motivated anymore. We had a lot of life happen to us. I had 2 miscarriages. We've had so many different things happen. And then it wasn't until last year I read the book again, The Total Money Makeover, because he had gotten a new job.
Yep.
In 2014 that he took to try something different to make more money, and he didn't really like it very much. He got let go.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does it feel now to be, after all of that, to continue to be completely debt free?
Amazing.
Very cool. How long have you two been married? How long have you been married?
Been married for 11 years.
11 years. Okay, cool. Congratulations. All right, $155,000 paid off. Ernie and Jennifer from New Orleans. Yep. And they did that in 8 months, selling off a whole bunch of stuff, and they've been on a journey through that period of time. And their 3 kids are with them, Levi, Violet, and Chevy as well. So count it down, guys. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Way to go, you guys! Awesome. Man, that's incredible. That's how it's done right there. Man, love it. I love it. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Cody is with us in Colorado Springs. Hi, Cody. How are you?
Doing great, Dave.
Good. How can I help?
I just got a question on that brand new Dodge Hellcat. I want to get one, but they went from 65 new to 89 used. How does that make sense, Dave, when everything with the motor goes down in value?
I'm confused what your question is. What are you asking?
I want to buy.
You want to buy an $89,000 used car?
Yes, when originally it only sold for 65.
Yeah, well, that won't hold.
No.
That's not going to be there for long. There's a few cars that spike for a short period of time. Some of them bring Sticker Plus when they first come out. The new Vet did that. The Raptor did that for a period of time on Sticker Plus. But you and I know that the vast majority are really all of these things come crashing down eventually. And Raptors are now no longer Sticker Plus, and Vets are now no longer Sticker Plus, and this car will be the same way unless it becomes a very rare car of some kind that's highly collectible. And what is your household income, Cody?
I make about $60 a year.
So how does it make sense for you to have a discussion about a $90,000 vehicle?
That's why I'm trying to figure a way to get there financially, whether it's down the road or...
Yeah, you would need to have like several $1 million to where it didn't matter if you drove a $90,000 car or not. That's what it amounts to. You need to have vehicles that are such a small percentage of your world that they don't matter. And then you've got the ability to build wealth. And so someone that's owning a $90,000 vehicle should have a net worth in excess of $1 million and should have an income in excess of $150,000, $200,000 a year. Otherwise, you only talk about a $90,000 vehicle. It doesn't make sense. You're right. All right. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Well, listen up, folks. You work too hard to retire broke. And if you want to live some of those dreams, maybe Cody's dream is being in a position where he can buy that car someday, or a car like that someday. I'm a car guy, too. I like cars. I've got several nice vehicles. But I had to finally get in a position in my head that the vehicles were not going to own me. I was going to own them. And then that allowed me to build wealth. My friend and Ramsey personality, Chris Hogan, has a brand new book coming out in January, 1st of January, January 11th to be precise. It's called Retire Inspired. And it's going to give you the plan to change the way you think about your money and think about your future. It's the book you've been waiting for. Now, we're offering an incredible deal to anyone who pre-orders Retire Inspired, and it's only $20. The book is $20, and you get $70 worth of bonus items with it, including the Retire Inspired ebook, the Retire Inspired digital audio book, Chris Hogan's all-new Investing Basics DVD, the Guide to Retirement Budgeting ebook, and the ebook version of my latest book, The Legacy Journey. And you can get all of this at DaveRamsey.com. This is The Dave Ramsey Show.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM is San Bernardino Strong.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks, and I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
This is KCAA.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features Reverend Irma Forward.
We are the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire, teaching science of mind, a spiritual philosophy which empowers the individual to express creatively and to live a successful life. We practice affirmative prayer based on the teachings of Ernest Holmes. Sunday services begin at 10 a.m. During the week, we offer classes as an adjunct to Sunday services. These classes present a basic idea for successful living. On December 21st, there is a candlelight service with traditional holiday music. Julie Edwards Matanga will lead the Christmas bells. We look forward to serving you and meeting your spiritual needs.
Thank you, Reverend Irma. This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
Merry Christmas, America. We're glad you are here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Lawford is with us in Los Angeles. Hey, Lawford, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I'm doing well, man. Just had a couple questions about what my priorities may be, what my direction going forth. I'm a 28-year-old full-time student, and what's going on is that I already saved up my emergency fund, which is around $500. And about 3 years ago, I moved to Los Angeles from South Florida, and it hasn't been the greatest of relocation since I've been here financially. So I'm trying to see if I should go back home, but at the same time, I'm in school full time to just continue my education.
You said you're how old?
28.
28. And you're a full-time student?
Yeah, I'm a full-time student.
So how are you eating?
That's a great question. So what I did is I just started up a company about 2 months ago where I teach technology classes to seniors, and it's been growing within the last 2 months. I've booked over 15 facilities, but right now we're in the preliminary stages. So the income is not coming in as fluently, but our projection for next year.
So what do you use for grocery money?
Oh, for grocery money? That's a pretty interesting question. Right now I'm living off of food stamps.
Okay, and how are you paying your electric bill?
Just hustling, selling things that I can find, or the company's is bringing some money, so I'm doing that, and some money that I've already saved up from working in the past. I had a couple jobs within the last 2 years, some money that I saved up.
Okay, so what is your 3-year plan from today? What are you going to do for the next 3 years? To finish school, you're going to run this company and finish school?
Yes, that's correct. That's my 3-year plan. That's correct.
All right. And will it take you 3 years to finish school?
It'll take me less than 3 years to finish school. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Cool.
The thing is that if I go back to school, I'll be accruing more debt because based on the schools I've tried to apply to, that's really it. So I don't know if that's a good idea. My debt right now from going to school is around $3,000, a little bit more than that, and then I also have some credit card debt at the same time too. So my question is, like, should I go back home, revamp, and stay there where I won't have a lot of debt, or I should still continue to live out here and still go through the process?
Okay, home with your parents?
Yeah, home with my parents, which would be Florida. Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to let you live there for free. And they're going to feed you.
Most likely, yeah.
And they're going to feed you.
Right, correct. That's correct, yeah.
And then you're going to get through school. How are you going to pay for school when you're in Florida?
Yeah, I'd be able to work to pay for school in Florida, yeah.
Okay. Would that be a better environment for you? I mean, I don't care which one you do.
It wouldn't be a better environment because right now the company is growing, and that's where my dilemma is. Like, the company's growing, I want to finish school, but at the same time I want to invest a lot of time into working to this company while I'm in school.
Mm-hmm. And so, what are you making with a company now? How much?
It's not much. So our initial contracts range between $300 to $400 per contract. So if I book like 5 contracts, then that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So 5 contracts would be like $1,500 a month.
That's correct, yeah.
Which is not a ton living in L.A., agreed?
That's correct. That is correct, yeah.
And housing, where are you living now?
I'm renting a room right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if you can get to $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000 a month or something with this company, that's fine. I can't tell if it's something that's going to grow to that level. You have a better vision of that, a better sight of that than I do. Right. But I wouldn't let a $1,500 a month program keep you from being where you're supposed to be, studying what you're supposed to study. That's not that much money.
Right.
So if you lost that, that's not the end of the world. If you got a better life, a better quality of life, because in other words, I would give up a little bit of money here or there in order to finish school to have a better 5-year goal. From 5 years from today, where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? And
right.
Do you want to be running this company and not have your education, or do you want to have your education and be in a different career completely? And I think that was where you were headed. And then this company you were started doing just to make a little eating money, and now it's looking like it might turn into something. I wouldn't allow it to be a distraction from what you're supposed to do. And so I would say with no more money than it's making today, even though it is growing, you need to live where and go to school where is most likely to cause you to be able to finish school.
Okay.
Whichever place that is. And if you can do that in L.A. and you want to stay in L.A., I'm fine with that. I don't mind. I'm not saying go back home, but you've kind of acted like the only thing holding you in L.A. was the fact that this company started to do a little something, and maybe you could do that same model in Florida and not have anywhere near the personal overhead, and that way you could avoid debt and pile up some cash as you go through. So I don't know, just a thought, but it seems like the only thing keeping you in L.A. was this idea right now. And if you could do that in another city, then you're not far from starting from scratch now. So, hey man, thanks for calling in. Merry Christmas to you. Angela is with us in Oklahoma City. Hi, Angela. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, good. So my husband and I took your core program that was offered through my work, and we are currently trying to pay off his student loans. But my question really comes to, should we be investing in our company's 401ks when we still have this outstanding student loan debt?
No, you should not. You should be pouring everything onto the student loans to get rid of them as fast as you possibly can.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. He commutes about 150 miles a day.
Good Lord.
For his job. And
why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he works for a university that's...
Why don't you move there?
Well, because I have a job here. So
how much do you make?
I make $64,000.
And what does he make?
$43,000.
Okay. And he works for a university doing what?
He works for the foundation there as a constituent relations.
Okay.
He works with
so
the donors.
What is your 5-year plan? To continue to commute like that?
The plan, hopefully, is to, once we pay off student loans, to move a little bit closer and in between.
What's stopping you from doing that now?
Moving and buying another house.
Okay. Well, I got to tell you, that's a low quality of life to have a 150-mile commute for very long. I mean, you do what you got to do for short periods of time. I get that.
Right.
But as a 5-year plan, we're going to sit here for the next 5 years and do that. That would drive me bananas. And so I'd be selling my house and renting something in between while I get my student loans paid off if I were in your shoes. But definitely your student loans need to be ahead of your 401k, because of the fact that you got this huge pile of student loans is what's keeping you from making these other decisions right now, it sounds like. And, man, that's a brutal commute. It's absolutely brutal. So I would do away with that as soon as possible. I mean, if there's, that's just not tenable. It's not sustainable for a long period of time. It affects your health. It affects your relationships. You're destroying a vehicle. It's expensive. My Lord, by the time you talk about what cars he's destroying and the cost of fuel, he's hardly making any money at $43,000 with a 150-mile commute. That's just wow. So you got to get between, or he's got to get a different job, or you got to get a different job, or something. Something needs to move there, because that's not sustainable over a decade or over 5 years or something like that. And sometimes, Angela, when you're looking at your situation, if you can look at it, I can do anything for 90 days. I can do a lot of things for 6 months. But what do I want my life to look like over 5 years, over the next 5 years? Sometimes that tells you to go ahead and start making some decisions now that move you in that direction, that aren't holding you up. So, something to think about. I appreciate the call, and I appreciate you joining us. Merry Christmas to you. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Austin is on Facebook.com/Dave Ramsey. Can someone save for a kid's college fund in a Roth IRA? There are some provisions for that, but I strongly suggest you don't. Use the Educational Savings Account, the ESA, or the 529 to save for college. Use the Roth IRA to save tax-free growth for retirement. Don't mess that up screwing around with it. Use it for retirement. That's what it's designed for. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. Thanks to James Childs, our producer. Blake Thompson's our executive producer. Kelly Daniel, our associate producer and phone screener. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back.
Hi, it's Dave Collins in Snow Country. More ski areas are coming online, more fresh powder for us to twist and turn in. Bear Mountain with 4 inches of snowfall over the weekend. They've got 17 trails open for you on a packed powder and a powder surface. That's over 70% of the terrain open for you to explore at Bear Mountain. June with a couple of inches over the weekend as well. They've got 95% of their terrain open. That's well over 30 trails. Mammoth Mountain with about a foot of snowfall. They've got 150 runs, 100%